And welcome to Hannity, reporting from Dallas tonight. And coming up, FBI boss Christopher Wray grilled on Capitol Hill about Hunter Biden political bias and public corruption at some of the highest levels of the FBI. Plus, a frequent CNN columnist just proclaimed that Donald Trump supporters are no different than the terrorists of al-Qaeda. Oh, I guess so much for the new era of journalism under the new fake news boss, this guy Chris Licht at Fake News CNN. Maybe it's time for him to go back to Stephen Colbert, where he came from. And later tonight, New York is going from bad to worse as the city refuses to lock up repeat offenders, all in the name of social justice. Now, many residents are forced to take matters into their own hands. We're going to talk to one local boxing and MMA coach leapt into action against the violent criminal. But first, we begin tonight with a common theme from the Biden White House, and that is one of weakness. Take a look.
I must admit, in total disclosure, I've spoken to the chairwoman about the possibility of my being able to buy one of those Corvettes that are electric vehicles that, when they come out. I'm not going to be able to do it because I can't drive a vehicle while I'm vice president, while I'm president.
It's good for the economy and the environment.
Well, thank you. Is it all right if I ask you a question, Brian?
Of course, Mr. President. I was going to just turn briefly, before we get our other speakers, to just ask Secretary Yellen to offer...
Before you do, can I ask a question?
Sure, of course.
I'd like to ask a question.
You can't make this up. Anyone with a pulse can see that Joe Biden is physically, mentally just gone out of it completely. Now, his naive policies are even worse. Now, Joe seems to think he can save the world with a massive amount of new taxes and federal spending, 87,000 new IRS agents. We're going to more than double the number of IRS agents. And then, of course, everybody needs an electric car. He also apparently believes the world peace, that can be achieved through appeasement. Now, sadly, this kind of weakness always invites aggression. Last year, Biden attempted to appease the Taliban, remember, gifting them Bagram Air Force Base to allow them to march right to the center of Kabul in record time. In just a few months, Kabul is already a safe haven for al-Qaeda. The terrorists are honored guests of the Taliban. And let's not forget when Biden tried to appease Russia, you know, that shiny new Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and then Putin immediately, what does he do in return? He invades Ukraine. And Biden's diplomatic efforts with Russia are such a disaster that he's totally failed to even be able to free WNBA player Brittany Griner, who is now rotting away in a Russian prison cell because of, what, a weed pen, 9 years in jail, and Joe's words to Vladimir Putin are completely meaningless. Now, this all despite offering up so-called merchant of death. Remember this guy we told you about in a prisoner exchange? Now, this narco-terrorist and international arms dealer was convicted in a plot to kill Americans. America's relationship with Russia is at its lowest point since the Cold War. And sadly, we're also seeing the exact same thing unfold with communist China. And tonight, it is clear that the CCP wants to invade our ally Taiwan. China's military has been conducting live fire drills just off the coast of Taiwan. Chinese fighter jets perpetually, seemingly breaching Taiwan's airspace. They are firing missiles now over Taiwan. And the CCP now just threatened to assassinate the Speaker of the House because she dared to visit the island and our ally. And this, of course, after President Xi was lecturing and threatening Joe Biden, and he did nothing. Did Joe Biden challenge President Xi on COVID and the lies of China? No, he did not, to the extent he needed to. Intellectual property theft? Nope. Unfair trade practices? Nope. Treatments of the minority Uyghur community? Nope. Flying jets over Taiwan? No. Joe got lectured by President Xi, not the other way around. Now, any conflict between China and Taiwan would cause a mass casualty situation, wreak havoc on the global economy, already struggling. Joe Biden is doing nothing to deter any of China's aggression. Instead, he's trying to appease communists with tariff relief. Why would you benefit China at this time? And, you know, naive words about one China. He even tried to distance himself from Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan and just deployed an important U.S. missile test. This is beyond pathetic. It won't work, and probably it's going to incur more aggression as we go down the road. According to a new report, China is now prepping for a possible invasion of Taiwan before the 2024 election. Yet Joe Biden won't even pick up the phone, have a tough conversation with his old friend, President Xi. Our very own Peter Ducey asked about all of this earlier today. Take a look at this exchange.
President Biden's known him for decades.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of free time up there in the residence this week.
He doesn't have free time.
Is there a reason he can't just pick up the phone and call?
He's been working all the way through his illness, quite frankly, Peter. So that's a little bit insulting. And as for a call, it is. It is.
That someone who is isolating by themselves.
You suggested he has a lot of free time, as if he's not doing anything, and you know that's not the case, Mr. Ducey.
You would think China might be at the top of the priority list. Now, Biden never really has much of anything on his schedule. We all know that. We know he wakes up late, goes to bed early. So I guess it's fair to say Biden does very little in the Oval Office or in the White House. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.